Ladies and gentlemen, you are here to bear witness to one of the strangest tales ever told.
There is one thing you must understand, one thing about which you must have no doubt.
There are such things as vampires.
You may not believe what we say, but this is no fiction. This is our history.
We present as evidence the following documents. My diary.
And mine kept on phonograph.
My journal.
And letters in various hands.
All needless matters have been eliminated so that our history may stand forth as simple fact.
Our tale begins with the private diary of Jonathan Harker.
4th of May, 1895, Bistritz, Transylvania. At last, my long journey is nearing its end. Yeah! No, it's rather a rough road, isn't it?
Driver, hurry, hurry.
I say, driver, at this pace we are likely to reach the Borgo Pass well before schedule. A bit slower, if you please.
No slower. We must reach the pass before midnight.
That won't do. I'm meeting a carriage at Borgo Pass at midnight.
Whose carriage?
Count Dracula's?
Nosferatu.
Shh. I beg your pardon?
You must not go.
But I have important business.
It is the eve of St. George.
At the stroke of midnight, all evil things in the world have full sway.
I don't understand.
Oh, if you must go, please, wear this cross.
No, thank you.
Oh, for your mother's sake.
Of course.
Whoa! Whoa! The Borgo Pass. No carriage here. The heir is not expected after all. We must move on.
But it is an hour less than the time.
The best to move on to Bukovina and return tomorrow, or the next day. Better the next day.
But I have a letter from the Count to meet his carriage here at midnight.
Then you can wait for him alone. We must move on.
You can't just leave me here.
You choose. Stay or go. We leave now.
You are early tonight, my friend.
A carriage and 4 great black horses had pulled up beside us.
The young Englishman, he was in such a hurry.
You cannot deceive me. I know too much, and my horses are sweet.
For the dead travel fast.
Shh. Am I glad to see you? They were about to leave me here alone.
Come, mynheer. My master away.
Dracula makes a sweeping motion with his cloak, enveloping Jonathan as the lights go out.
I must have slept. The carriage is gone. The driver is gone. Before me is a vast ruined castle. Where am I? Where is the carriage? That is not a comforting sound. This can't be Castle Dracula. It looks completely deserted.
Mr. Harker.
Oh, I beg your pardon. You startled me. Are you the Count?
I am Dracula.
What a relief. I am sorry if I seem jumpy. I must have dozed off in the carriage, and when I awoke, the driver was gone, and the castle looked so deserted, I wondered if I was in the wrong place.
I bid you welcome. Come freely, go safely, and leave something of the happiness you bring.
It is a pleasure, sir, to finally meet you. Although I am a bit worried, the carriage driver seems to have made off with my luggage.
I took the liberty of having your luggage brought inside. You must be famished. Please, help yourself. You will forgive me if I do not join you. I have already dined.
Thank you. You are very kind.
This is very old wine from my private cellar. Would you care for a glass?
Yes, thank you. Aren't you drinking?
I never drink wine. Listen to them. The children of the night, what music they make.
Quite.
Now, be of London and of the house you have procured for me there.
Of course.
Jonathan opens his briefcase and removes papers and a map. In the process, a small picture of Mina falls from his bag onto the floor.
What is this?
You have found Mina. I was afraid I had lost her.
Mina, your wife.
Fiancée. In fact, we were just engaged before I came here.
Ah, to be young and in love. Once in London, I must have the pleasure of meeting your lovely Mina in person.
I'm sure she would be delighted. Now, your new estate is called Carfax, situated in Whitby, just outside London. It contains some 20 acres, is of ancient structure, is surrounded by a great stone wall. It is very secluded and, to speak plainly, rather gloomy. In short, the estate meets your requirements perfectly. Though I should mention one large house next door has been converted into a private lunatic asylum. It is not, however, visible from your grounds.
I am glad to hear the house is old. A house cannot be made habitable in a day, and how few days go to make a century.
If all is in order, simply sign here and Carfax is yours.
Excellent. I long to walk the crowded streets of London, to share its life, its changes, its death. Look, it is almost dawn. How the time flies by us. Tomorrow I have business which will keep me away from the castle until evening. Then we will talk more of your native London. Good night, Mr. Harker.
13th of May. Today I explored and found the castle sits on the edge of a terrible precipice. A stone falling from my window would fall 1,000 feet without touching anything. In the castle itself I found only doors, all of them locked, all of them bolted against me. Castle Dracula is a prison, and I am its prisoner. I just want to shave, but there does not seem to be a single mirror in the place.
Jonathan removes a small mirror from his bag and commences shaving. A mist gathers behind Jonathan, and Dracula is seen slowly advancing. Jonathan cannot see him in the mirror. Dracula places a hand gently on Jonathan's shoulder. Jonathan, startled, wheels around fast, and in the act, cuts himself slightly with a razor.
Mr. Harker?
Count! Ouch, you startled me. I didn't see you.
Your pardon.
The Count reached for my throat with astounding speed. The moment his fingers grazed my crucifix, he recoiled, the fury disappearing as if it had never been there.
Take care how you cut yourself. It is more dangerous than you think in this country. And this is the wretched thing that has done the mischief. It is a vain bauble of man's vanity.
Dracula flings the mirror out of the window.
My mirror?
Perhaps you should grow a beard. Mr. Harker, may I ask if you have written to your employer, Mr. Hawkins, since your arrival?
No, I have not as yet seen any opportunity of sending letters.
Then write now, my young friend. Write to your employer, to your pretty fiancée, and to any other that you wish, and say it will please you to stay with me until a month from now.
A month?
Yes. I wish to have you as my tutor. You will teach me to be a true Englishman.
Count, I must admit, I had not planned to be away for so long.
I will take no refusal.
Very well, I am at your service.
Excellent. I trust you will forgive me, but I have much work to do in private this evening. A word of advice, my young friend, nay, a word of warning. Should you leave these rooms, you will by no means go to sleep in any other part of the castle. It is old and has many memories, and there are bad dreams for those who dream unwisely.
A month? How can I stay here another month? This place feels wrong. I would write to Mina of my fears, but I feel certain the Count would read my letters. I am afraid.
Dracula emerges from his window and crawls straight down the castle wall, face first, with his cape spread like bat wings.
15th of May. What manner of man is this? Or what creature in the semblance of man? I have twice seen him from my window crawl out of his room and scale the castle wall like a bat, face down, his cape spread about him like great wings. He never eats. He is never about by day. He casts no shadow. He is gone from the castle again today. My only thought is escape. I come upon a door that I have not seen before, and unlike every other door in the castle, this one is open.
Jonathan forces his way inside and moves about the room looking for a means of escape. Jonathan removes his jacket and lies down upon the sofa. No sooner does his head rest upon the sofa than a mist is seen approaching, and strange sounds like wind chimes are heard. Jonathan sits up suddenly.
I am not alone.
3 female figures emerge from the fog. They remain in the shadows, ghostly, otherworldly.
Go on. You are the first. We shall follow.
Yours is the right to begin.
He is young and strong. There are kisses enough for us all.
The 3 women move closer to Jonathan. We can now make out their features. They are exceptionally beautiful, but in an inhuman way, such that they elicit feelings of desire and repulsion at the same time.
Who are you?
Shh.
What do you want?
You.
No.
We only want a kiss.
No, you can't.
Just a kiss.
Ah, yes. Yes, just a kiss.
The women laugh and whisper together as they move closer. One of them, the leader, steps forward and slowly kneels and bends over Jonathan as he lies on the sofa, paralyzed. Closer and closer, the woman's lips move as if they are about to kiss Jonathan, but the mouth moves away from the lips towards the throat.
Kiss me?
Suddenly, Dracula appears out of nowhere. With speed and power we have not yet seen from him, he grabs the woman by the neck and violently throws her away.
How dare you touch him, any of you?
We only wanted a taste.
How dare you cast your eyes on him when I had forbidden it? This man belongs to me.
He is in love.
He doesn't love. He has never loved.
Indeed, love once. You know that better than most. I promise you, when I am done with him, you can kiss him at your will.
Are we to have nothing tonight?
Dracula reveals a bag he has been holding out of sight. He throws it to the floor in front of the women who surround the bag excitedly. As they gather around it, we hear what sounds like the muffled cries of a small child coming from the bag. The women then fade back into the darkness and mist, seeming to disappear into it, taking the bag with them.
My good young friend, it is time your loved one should hear from you once more.
What?
I have written 3 letters.
How did I get back in my room?
I have written 3 letters. One saying that you are nearly done with your work and will be starting for home in a few days. Another that you are starting for home on the next morning. And a third that you have left the castle and arrived in district. You will sign and date them.
Why?
The post in this part of the world is uncertain. Your signing all the letters now will ensure ease of mind to your friend. The first should be dated June 12th, the second June 19th, and the third June 29th.
I now know the span of my life. I will sign them directly.
You will sign them now.
Sounds of shoveling are heard from within the castle.
Is there someone else here?
Yes, The Romani, my servants. I have arranged for them to handle my luggage.
Finished?
Good.
I am not alone. Finally, a way out. If I can get them to send a letter to Mina, there is hope yet. Hello? Hello there! I need help. Can you help me? Here, I have a letter. Please see that it is sent. It is vitally important.
The Romani waves in assent. Dracula appears in the shadows and motions to the Romani, who walks over to him, handing over the letter. Dracula smiles and tears the letter to pieces.
16th of June. I awoke to find that all my personal effects are gone. My money, my clothes, everything. These Romani must be under his power. I can look for no help from them. After all I have seen, I am certain Dracula will never let me leave this castle alive. I wish I had a gun or some lethal weapon that I might destroy him, but somehow I fear no weapon wrought by man would have any effect.
My friend, we must part. You return to your beautiful England, I to my own labor. I fear we may never meet again. Tomorrow I shall be away, but my carriage shall bear you to the Borgo Pass.
May I not go tonight?
Dear sir, my coachman and horses are away at present.
But I assure you, I would walk with pleasure. I wish to get away at once.
And your luggage?
I can have it sent for later.
If you insist. Come, my dear young friend, not an hour shall you stay in my house against your will.
Truly?
You English have a saying that is very close to my heart. Welcome the coming, speed the parting guests.
Dracula leads Jonathan out of his room and toward the main door of the castle. As they draw near the door, the howling of wolves erupts from outside.
The wolves are hungry tonight, Mr. Harker.
Shut the door! Shut the door!
I take it you will remain until tomorrow.
I haven't much choice, have I?
No.
Dracula smiles an evil smile and leads Jonathan back to his room, closing and locking the door after Jonathan enters. Behind him, mist is seen, and the chime sounds of the vampire women are heard. Dracula turns as the silhouettes of the women appear.
Back to your own place. Your time has not yet come. Have patience. Tomorrow night is yours.
30th of June. These may be the last words I ever write. God preserve my sanity. I must act while the courage of the day is upon me. The front door is the only means of escape, but Dracula has the only key, and his door is always locked. Desperate times require desperate action. I have seen him scale the castle wall. Why not imitate him and go in by his window? The climb is a slow, treacherous one. One misstep will send me falling 1,000 feet to the icy river below. After what feels like an eternity, I reach his window, which is open. The room, thank God, is empty. No bed, no sign of human comfort, only a table on which are some coins and a basin with dirty water, red as if with blood. The door is open and leads me down into the bowels of the castle. This must be where those Romani have been working, for I see shovels and picks and long wooden boxes. They have been filling these boxes with earth from under the castle. But why? As I approach one of the boxes, I can see there is something inside. Something lying on the dirt. My God! It's the Count! He has grown young. His white hair is now jet black. His lips pulled back to reveal sharp white teeth, smeared red with blood. What are you? What monster am I helping to move to London? My every instinct tells me to run back to my room and hide. But I think of Mina. I remember how he looked at her picture. I cannot let him leave this castle. I grab a shovel left behind by the Romani. I summon all my strength and raise it over my head. Suddenly, I can't move. The eyes are wide open, and they are looking at me. The shovel falls from my hand, and the next thing I know, I am crawling back through my window and into my room. I awake to the sound of a carriage being loaded with boxes. Those earth boxes. And I know what they hold. I listen as the horses carry their charge away from the courtyard. I am alone in this castle with those women. No, Mina is a woman, and there is naught in common. Once more, I must make the climb down the wall, only farther this time. If I can reach the bottom, I can escape. If I fall, it is better to die as a man. Goodbye, Mina.
Mina Murray's Journal, 24th of June.
I have news.
I love being here with Lucy again at Whitby by the sea. I haven't had a letter from Jonathan for weeks and would be driven to distraction if not for Lucy.
I have news.
Thankfully, Lucy has always been a reliable source of distraction.
Mina, I have news.
In a moment, I'm working.
On what?
My diary.
Why are you typing your diary? Why not write it with a pen like a normal person?
Because it is good practice. When Jonathan returns from Transylvania, I would like to be useful.
Oh. I have news.
Lucy.
Of course, if you don't want to hear my news, I will find someone who does.
All right.
What?
Find someone else to tell.
Oh, Mina, please let me tell. You're not acting at all as I hoped.
All right. Tell me. What's your news?
Guess.
Would it have anything to do with a certain young gentleman I have heard such rumors about?
Rumors? Have you been gossiping? That's not like you at all.
I suppose you're a bad influence.
I certainly hope so.
Really, though, do I detect a marriage proposal?
Not one proposal, no.
2?
Almost.
What, 3?
Yes, 3. I have had 3 marriage proposals in one day. I'm so happy. I don't know what to do with myself.
Who were they?
Oh, I do feel truly sorry for the 2 poor fellows I had to say no to, but I am so happy.
Who did you say yes to?
Oh, but please don't tell any of the other girls. They might get all sorts of extravagant ideas, or imagine they've been slighted for not receiving 3 proposals themselves. Some girls are so vain.
Slow down. Tell me what happened.
Of course. But you must keep this a secret. Number 1 came just before lunch. I have told you about him before, Dr. John Seward.
The lunatic asylum man?
Yes. Incidentally, I think he would be just perfect for you.
You want me to marry the lunatic asylum man?
He runs the asylum. He's not a patient.
I am engaged.
I mean, if not for Jonathan, silly. Anyway, he was so nervous he almost fell over.
Lucy, may I have a word? You are so dear to me, even though we've known each other for such a short time. You know that I'm prone to bouts of melancholy, but if you were with me, it would do much to cheer me. I do not know how I could bear it if you said you did not care for me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Right. Could you learn to love me in time?
No.
Is there someone else? I do not wish to pry, but so long as a woman's heart is free, a man may live in hope.
Oh, Mina, it broke my heart to tell him, but I could not lie to so earnest a plea. There is Jack. I am so sorry.
I hope you'll be very happy. If you should ever like a friend, I hope you'll count me one of your best.
Well, as you can imagine, I was feeling rather guilty for having to refuse, but no sooner had Jack left me than my number 2 arrived. He found me alone. It seems a man always does find a woman alone. No, that's not always true, for Arthur tried twice to get me alone unsuccessfully, and I am not ashamed to admit I tried to help him as best I could. But I get ahead of myself. Number 2, Mr. Quincey P. Morris.
Is that the American?
Yes, from Texas. I met him through Arthur. Well, he came in and sat down and looked just about as jolly as could be.
Miss Lucy, I know I ain't good enough to regulate the fixing of your shoes, but I guess if you wait for a man that is, well, you'd be waiting a long time.
Mr. Morris doesn't always speak this way, but he discovered it amused me to hear him talk American slang, so he shows off as often as possible.
Why don't you hitch up alongside of me and let us go down that long road together in a double harness?
He was so jolly, it was not half so hard to refuse him as poor Jack Seward. Well, I don't know anything of hitching, and I do not believe I am broken to harness at all yet.
I have spoken in a light manner. If I have made a mistake in doing so on an occasion like this, I do hope you'll forgive me.
With that, he poured out a perfect torrent of love-making, laying his heart at my feet.
Lucy, you are an honest-hearted girl. Tell me, like one good fellow to another, is there anyone else you care for? If there is, I'll never trouble you a hair's breadth again, but will be, if you let me, a very faithful friend.
Yes, I'm afraid there is someone that I love, though he has not yet told me that he loves me.
It's better worth being late for the chance of winning you than being on time for any other girl in the world.
I must confess, if my heart had been free, I could have well loved him for that.
If that other fellow doesn't know his happiness, he better look for it soon, or he'll have me to deal with. Little girl, you have made a friend of me, and that is rarer than a lover. But won't you give me one little kiss? It'll serve to keep off the darkness now and then.
That quite won me over.
Kiss me. If that don't make us friends, nothing will.
Well?
Well, what?
Number 3.
Oh, of course. My sweet number 3. It was Lord Arthur Holmwood, of course. He's been visiting often. He and my mother get along famously, and he and I have so much in common. As far as the proposal goes, there's not much to tell.
Hello, Lucy.
Oh, Arthur, what a day I've had.
Eventful?
Only if you call 2 marriage proposals eventful.
I see. Did you say yes?
No.
Good. Will you say yes now?
Oh, it was all so romantic. Before I knew what was happening, he asked me to marry him, and I said yes.
Oh, Lucy, I am so happy for you.
I am so happy for me, too. How exciting to both be engaged at the same time. Oh, how selfish of me. Bragging away about happiness while Jonathan is half a world away.
Oh, don't be silly. I wouldn't dream of dampening your spirits. Tell me all about it. When will the wedding be?
Diary of Dr. John Seward, 26th of June. No appetite today. Cannot eat, cannot sleep, so diary instead. Since making a fool of myself yesterday, nothing in the world seems important enough to be worth doing. The only cure for this sort of thing is work. Patient name, Thomas Renfield. Age 35, great physical strength, morbidly excitable, periods of gloom ending in some fixed idea I cannot make out. Indeed, his lunacy seems bent to a singular purpose. His one redeeming quality is a love of animals. Those pets are of odd sorts. What is it today, Renfield?
Lies, Doctor. I lay my sugar on the windowsill and collect my little friends in these jars.
That is rather clever of you. Though, I must say, it won't do to have this quantity of flies buzzing about. With apologies, you will have to reduce your numbers.
May I have 3 days? I shall clear them away.
I had half expected him to break into a fury over this request. 3 days later, I visited him again. How are you feeling today, Renfield?
Lovely, lovely.
I see the flies are gone. Thank you for that.
I live to serve.
What have you there?
Spiders.
Ah, I see. You use the spiders to eat the flies.
Yes, the spiders eat them. They eat the flies, yes.
You've traded one pest for another. At all events, Renfield, you must clear out these spiders.
Oh, must I get rid of them?
I'm afraid so. I will give you the same time as before to reduce your supply. In 3 days, I expect to see the spiders gone.
Of course, of course.
At that moment, a fly flew through the window, and Renfield fell completely silent, tracing the fly's path through the air. With maddening speed, he snatched the fly from the air and put it in his mouth. No, Renfield, don't. Don't do that.
No, no, Dr. Seward, it is all right. It is very good for me. Wholesome food, you see. The fly is life, strong life, and it gives life to me.
There is method in his madness. In 3 days' time, I visited him again.
Have you seen my new friend?
A sparrow? How did you manage to catch him?
Carefully, Doctor. Very carefully.
I see the spiders are gone. You fed them to the sparrow, didn't you?
Doctor, I have a favour to ask of you. A great favour.
What is it?
I want a kitten. A nice little playful kitten that I can play with and teach and feed. Yes, that I can feed.
It is an unusual request. Would you not rather have a cat?
Oh, yes, I would like a cat. I only asked for a kitten lest you should refuse me a cat. No one would refuse me a kitten, would they?
I'm afraid at present a kitten would be impossible.
You must let me have a cat. My salvation depends upon it.
It is out of the question. His salvation. There is something in this more than natural if philosophy could find it out. When I returned the next day, his cell was strewn with feathers. Where are your birds, Renfield?
They flew away.
Catching flies again?
You would not give me a cat, so I catch flies.
And so the whole process begins again. It seems his desire is to absorb as many lives as he can, and he seeks to achieve this end in a cumulative way. The spiders are worth more than the flies, and the sparrows more than the spiders. How far would he go if given the opportunity?
Mina Murray's Journal, 27th of June.
I am sorry you had to run around Whitby in the middle of the night looking for me.
You're lucky you didn't walk off a cliff before I found you.
I can't believe I'm sleepwalking again. I haven't done that since we were children.
Yes, remember how frantic your parents were?
They were always frantic. They thought I was going to walk straight into the ocean or something.
And when they started locking your door at night, you climbed out the window. You are quite tenacious in your sleep.
Maybe I should start wearing a bell.
I also remember you blaming sleepwalking for a few late-night strolls with the neighborhood boys.
It was a very convenient excuse, wasn't it?
Strange that it would be happening again after all this time.
Yes, I know. And it's different than before.
Different how?
Well, when I was a girl, I never remember having dreams. Lately, though, every night I sleepwalk, I have the wildest, most frightening dreams.
Dreams about what?
That's what's so strange. I remember dreaming, and I remember being afraid, but when I try to think of the details, all I can see are...
What?
Red eyes.
Strange. Looks like a terrible storm.
There's a ship out there.
I hope they don't get caught in the storm. Let's get home before we get caught in it too. Lucy, did you hear me?
Oh, yes. Sorry?
We must get back to the house.
Red eyes.
Diary of Dr. John Seward, 27th of June. Strange and sudden change in Renfield tonight.
I don't want to talk to you.
No?
You don't count now. The master is at hand.
The master?
The master of all life is at hand.
What of your pets? You stopped collecting.
Oh, bother them all. I don't care a pin about them.
You mean to tell me you don't care about your spiders?
Spiders. Spiders. Poor, puny things. Spiders are nothing compared to what he will give me.
What do you mean by that? Renfield.
All that matters now is him.
We are now in the churchyard overlooking the sea. The storm is now at its height. Lucy enters sleepwalking. She walks slowly to the cemetery bench and sits, looking out toward the sea as if expecting someone. Dracula enters in the mist, walking slowly to Lucy. The storm rages around them.
Lucy!
Dracula kneels over Lucy. Lucy lies back down onto the bench as Dracula bends over her.
Lucy?
Dracula raises his head. Mina stops for a moment, and in that instant, Dracula wheels around and is gone. Mina goes up to Lucy, who is breathing heavily but is still asleep.
Thank God. Lucy, wake up. You have to wake up. We have to go home.
Mina, where are we?
At the churchyard. It's storming. We have to get home.
Oh, I saw his eyes. Red eyes.
Dreaming. Come on, before you catch your death.
Mina wraps and pins a shawl around Lucy, who winces when the fabric touches her throat.
Ah, come on, darling.
I heard his voice in my head.
Come on.
Red eyes.
25th of July. I was afraid Lucy's adventure last night would make her ill, but on the contrary.
I am really feeling much better today.
You look better.
Why, thank you.
Better than in weeks.
Thank you.
In fact, you're looking positively radiant.
I think you're flirting with me.
You know what I mean, silly. I'm glad you feel better. I was starting to get worried.
To tell the truth, it's been so strange. For days I felt so weak, but now I feel so alive and so strong.
I am happy to hear it.
Yes, after all those days of horrible dreams and sleepwalking, I can't tell you how good it feels to be back to normal.
I am sorry, though, about your throat. I must have caught your skin when I pinned on that shawl. I hope it doesn't hurt.
Don't be silly, I don't feel a thing.
I hope it doesn't leave a scar.
Stop worrying, Mina. It's just a pinprick. I promise I'm all right. Enough about me. Tell me how you are feeling. Have you heard from Jonathan?
No, not for weeks.
I'm sorry.
I try not to worry, but I can't help it. It's so unlike him not to write.
I'm sure there's a simpler explanation.
Like what?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they have misplaced some of his letters. I bet soon you will get a whole month's worth of letters all in the same day.
I hope so. I'm just glad you're feeling better.
Me too. No more midnight adventures for me, if you please.
25th of July. An unlooked-for adventure tonight. My pet patient escaped. We found him before the doors of Carfax Abbey.
I am here to do your bidding, master. I am your slave, and you shall reward me. I have worshipped you. Now that you are here, I will await your commands. Will you not pass me by, will you, master, in your distribution of good things?
We rushed at the man, myself and 2 guards. The man fought with wild power. It took the strength of 3 of us to finally wrestle him to the ground.
I will be loyal to you, master. I have worshipped you.
Mina Murray's journal. I awoke to a scratching sound at the window. I turned to see if Lucy was disturbed and found her sitting bolt upright in bed, staring at the window with wide, frightened eyes. Lucy, what is it?
Lucy points to the window, saying nothing.
Lucy, you are scaring me.
The scratching continues. Mina screws up her courage and moves to the window to investigate.
Oh, thank God, it's only a bat. You had me scared half to death. It's flown off now.
Without a word, Lucy lies back down and falls to sleep.
The next day...
Shall we take up our old seat in the churchyard?
You really love this spot, don't you?
Yes. So beautiful among all the graves. So still.
When we were children, you were always so afraid of graveyards.
I don't know how I could have been so silly. So lovely up here, so peaceful among all the graves.
It is certainly quiet.
Like death.
Pardon?
Huh?
You said something just now.
Did I?
Are you feeling all right?
Yes, I feel fine. Just a little distracted, I suppose.
You were feeling so strong the other day. I hope you're not getting ill again.
I am fine. Oh. Sorry? This is where I came that night in the storm, isn't it?
Yes, it was. What do you remember?
It's all a blur, really. I remember I only wanted to be here in this spot. There was a singing in my ears and a sweetness in the air, but bitterness too. My soul seemed to pass out of my body and float away. Next thing I remember is you waking me.
During this, Dracula enters, standing across from Mina and Lucy, staring at them.
I wonder what made you come here, of all places.
Lucy turns and sees Dracula. Their eyes meet, and Lucy is transfixed.
Lucy?
His red eyes again. They're just the same.
Whose eyes?
Mina turns, but Dracula is gone.
I'm sorry, Mina, but I'm afraid I've developed a headache. I think I will go back and lie down.
Do you want me to come with you?
Oh, no, it's nothing. Just a headache. You stay and enjoy the day. I'll be all right.
I won't be long. Feel better?
Mina exits. Lucy is seen in her bedroom, moving slowly to the window and opening it. 2 red eyes appear outside the window.
Please, help. Please, help me.
Jonathan enters staggering. Every step is a struggle. Finally, he manages to crawl to the door of a convent. Jonathan bangs on the door. Sister Agatha, a nun of the convent, opens it.
What has happened?
Help me. Don't let them find me. Don't let them take me back there.
Who are you?
Help me.
What's happened?
Save me from him.
From who?
He is the devil himself.
Oh, it is all right, my child. You are safe now.
No one is safe.
Well, where do you come from?
No one is safe from him. Mina!
You are safe now.
Mina!
Lucy! Lucy! Lucy, it's wonderful. I've heard from Jonathan at last.
Oh, thank God.
Well, it's not all wonderful, I'm afraid. It appears Jonathan is ill.
Is it serious?
I'm afraid so. He was found at a monastery in a terrible state of shock.
What happened?
I don't know. The sister doesn't say. Though she does suggest that I come straight away.
You must go at once, right this minute if you can.
I don't want to leave you alone now that you're ill too.
Jonathan needs you more than I do.
Who will look after you?
Arthur is coming to take care of me. It will be good practice for him when we are married.
Are you sure?
You have been waiting so long to hear from Jonathan again. I will not have you wait longer on my account.
No, Lucy, what would I do without you? No one on earth has had a better friend. I will write you as soon as I am able.
Give Jonathan my love. And thank you, Mina, for everything.
Diary of John Seward, 1st of August. The case of Renfield grows ever more interesting. Ever since his escape, he's exhibited terrible violent fits which last all day. Then, as soon as the sun sets, he becomes quiet and peaceful.
I can wait. Now I can wait.
It seems as though there is some influence which comes and goes.
Hello, Jack, old boy.
Arthur, well, this is unexpected. To what do I owe this visit?
I wish you would do me a favor.
Of course.
It is a delicate matter, and I do not wish to cause you pain, but it is rather urgent.
If you're in trouble, I will do whatever I can.
It's about Lucy.
Oh,
She's ill.
What's wrong with her?
She has no particular disease as far as I can tell, but she looks terrible and is getting worse every day. She didn't want me to ask you, but I didn't know where else to turn.
I see.
I know how much you care for her.
Do you?
What?
I do care for her. That is, as a friend, of course. What would you have me do?
Will you come see her? I know it will be a painful task for you, but it is for her sake, and I mustn't hesitate to ask.
I will come right away. We went straight to Lucy's bedside, found her much as Arthur had described her, pale and weak.
Lucy? I'm sorry if I woke you. Jack Seward is here.
Oh, Jack, my dear friend.
Hello, Lucy.
I told Arthur not to bother you, but it is very sweet of you to come.
No, it is no trouble at all. Arthur, would you mind excusing us?
Of course.
Now, Lucy, tell me what has been the trouble.
I don't know exactly. Lately, I don't have the energy to even get out of bed. Times I have difficulty breathing. Most of the time I just sleep, and I have the most frightful dreams.
You seem rather bloodless, but you show no signs of anemia. Interesting.
As a child, I used to walk in my sleep. The habit came back recently, just about the time the dreams started.
Do you remember these dreams?
No, not really. They frighten me, but when I awake, I can't remember why.
Interesting.
I hope we haven't bothered you for nothing. Though I am glad to see you again. I had thought that after... Well, I'm glad we can still be friends.
So am I. And it is no trouble at all. In fact, I'm glad Arthur came to me. I should like to see you again, if I may. In my official capacity, of course.
I would like that very much. Do you think it's serious?
Oh, I wouldn't worry. Most likely some mental stress is the culprit. I have often seen evidence of the mind's power over the body. I would like to speak to Arthur now, but I will see you again soon.
Thank you, Jack.
And Lucy?
Yes?
Nothing. We will have you feeling better in no time.
Well?
I have to say, I'm at a loss. She shows symptoms of anemia, but she's not anemic. There's something else, something beyond my skill.
What now?
There is someone who might be able to help us. My old friend and mentor, Professor Abraham VanHelsing. He knows more about obscure diseases than anyone in the world. I know he would come if I ask.
Yes, by all means, contact him straight away.
A few days later, VanHelsing arrived and looked over our patient.
Friend John, I have made my examination. It was well that you should send for me. With you, I agree there has been much blood lost, but the conditions of her are in no way anemic. And yet there is cause. There is always cause.
What is the cause?
I must go home and think. There are certain books I must consult before I can say what is so. You must send me telegram every day, and if there be cause, I shall come again. The disease interests me much. And the sweet young dear, she interests me too. She has charmed me, and for her, if not for you or disease, I come.
What shall I tell Arthur?
That is the fiancé, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Tell him all you think. Tell him what I think, if you can guess it.
Oh.
No, hey, I am not jesting. This is no jest, but life and death, perhaps more. I go now. Remember, telegram every day.
Letter to Lucy Westenra, 15th of August. Dearest Lucy, I know you will want to know all that has happened since we parted. My poor Jonathan is only a wreck of his former self, so thin and pale and weak. He does not remember anything that has happened to him for a long time past.
Mina?
Yes, darling, I'm here.
There is something in my coat pocket. Would you get it for me?
It's your diary.
Yes. I want you to have it.
Why?
Part of me wants to throw it away and be done with it, but something in my heart tells me it's important. I've been too afraid to read it, and when I try to remember what I wrote in it, I feel dizzy. My head aches.
What do you want me to do with it?
Keep it for me. Read it if you like.
But this is your private diary. I shouldn't read this.
I don't want there to be any secrets between us. And if anything should happen to me, if this brain fever returns, you should know everything.
I will keep it for you if that's what you want, but I promise not to read it. Not unless it becomes absolutely necessary.
Thank you. That gives me comfort. I have a terrible feeling, like something is coming between us. Like the horror in this diary is only the beginning.
Let's not wait any longer. Let's get married. Here, as soon as we can.
Here?
Yes, today!
But all your plans.
Forget about that. All that matters is that you're safe and we're together. Whatever challenges come, we'll face them as husband and wife.
Oh, Mina, nothing would make me happier.
Dracula is seen outside Lucy's window.
Well, Lucy, this was certainly not the wedding I imagined, but I am so happy. I hope you will always be as happy as I am now.
The moment Jonathan and Mina share their first kiss as husband and wife, Dracula presses his teeth to Lucy's throat.
Diary of John Seward, 16th of August. I sent for VanHelsing with all possible speed.
Have you said anything to our young friend, the lover?
No, I wanted to wait until I had seen you. Well, I wrote him that you were coming and that Miss Westenra was not well, that was all.
Right, my friend, quite right. Better he not know as yet. For the moment, friend John, we shall keep what we know in our heads and in our hearts.
Oh my God, she's even worse than before.
There is no time to be lost. She will die from sheer want of blood. There must be a transfusion at once. Shall it be you or me?
I am younger and stronger. It must be me.
Then get ready at once. I am prepared.
Jack?
Arthur?
I read between the lines of your letter and came as soon as I could. My God, what's happening here?
Sir, you have come in time. You are the lover of our dear miss.
Yes, you must be Dr. VanHelsing. I'm so thankful to you for coming.
No time for that. She is bad, very bad. You are here to help her. You can do more than any that live.
Tell me what to do, and I shall do it. My life is hers. I would give my last drop of blood to save her.
Your last drop? I do not ask so much as that. Not yet.
What shall I do?
Young miss is bad. She wants blood, and blood she must have. John was to give his blood, as he is more young and strong than me, but now you are here.
If only you knew how gladly I would die for her.
Go, good boy. Come now and be silent. You may kiss her once before it is done, but then you must go. Leave at my sign. Now, little miss, here is your medicine. Drink it off like a good child.
Arthur, remove your coat.
You may take that one little kiss whilst I prepare. Friend John, help me.
As the transfusion went on, something like life seemed to come back into poor Lucy's cheeks. After a bit, the loss of blood became telling on Arthur. What a terrible strain Lucy must have undergone that what weakened Arthur only partially restored her.
Do not stir for an instant. It is enough. Now, take our brave young lover, give him of the port wine, and let him lie down for a while. Then he must go home. He must sleep much and eat much.
But, Professor, tell me...
I may take it, sir, that you are anxious for results. In all ways, the operation is successful. You have saved her life this time. She will love you nonetheless for what you have done.
Thank you, Professor.
Friend John, what do you make of those marks on her throat?
Marks? 2 punctures just over the external jugular vein. No sign of disease, but the edges are worn-looking. Could this be the cause of her blood loss? No, of course not. The bed would be drenched with blood if that were the case. I can make nothing of it.
I must go back to Amsterdam tonight. In my hurry to arrive here quickly, there were books and things I left behind, which I desperately need. You must remain here all night, and you must not let her pass from your sight.
Shall I send for a nurse?
We are the best nurses, you and I. You keep watch all night. Do not sleep. Later on, we can sleep. I shall be back as soon as possible. Then we may begin.
Begin? What on earth do you mean?
We shall see. Remember, she is in your charge. If you leave her and harm befalls, you shall not sleep easy hereafter.
Later that night...
Arthur?
No, it's me.
Jack?
Yeah.
Where is Arthur? I thought I saw him here.
He went home to rest. The operation was very tiring for him.
I can never repay him for what he has done, nor you.
You will never have to. How are you feeling?
So much better than this morning.
Good. I'm glad to see you talking and smiling again. But I think rest is what you really need. A long night of sleep will do you much good.
No.
You don't want to sleep?
No. I am afraid.
Afraid to sleep? Why?
I don't know. That is what is so terrible.
You may sleep tonight. I am here watching you, and I can promise nothing will happen.
Truly?
You have my word that if I see any evidence of bad dreams, I will wake you at once.
You will? Will you really?
Yes.
How good you are to me. I will sleep well tonight.
17th of August. All night long I watched over her. She never stirred, even though all night a bat or an owl or something flapped almost angrily at the window pane. All day I spent at the sanitarium. No rest all day, no sleep for me again tonight. Lucy, you're up.
Yes, and feeling wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
Last night was the first restful sleep I can remember for weeks now, and no bad dreams, thanks to you.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear it.
You look terrible.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you know what I mean. You look exhausted.
I'm a bit worn out, I suppose.
You haven't slept at all, have you?
Don't worry about me.
Well, you certainly won't sit watch over me tonight.
But
I am much better today.
You do look quite well, but that doesn't mean...
If there is any sitting up, it is I who will sit up with you.
Lucy, VanHelsing insisted that
All right. I tell you what you will do. You can stay in the next room on the sofa. I will leave these doors open. If I want anything, I will call out and you can come at once.
All right. You win. To tell the truth, I could not sit up tonight if I tried. Remember, though, any sign of bad dreams, you call me at once.
Of course. I shall not fear to sleep with you so close at hand. Good night, Jack.
The next morning.
Seward. Seward.
Professor?
Oh, have you been here all night?
Yes, but we left the doors open in case Lucy needed me.
How is she?
Better than ever when I left her.
Come, let us see. God in Himmel!
Oh my God, she's worse than ever. How could this have happened in one night?
We are not too late. Her heart still beats, though feebly. All our work is undone.
This is my fault. Damn it, I shouldn't have left her alone.
No time for blame. We must operate again. I have to call upon your blood this time, friend John.
Professor, I don't understand. Last night she was better than ever. How could this have happened overnight?
Questions later. Give me your arm.
After a time, some color came back into her face. No man knows till he experiences it what it is to feel his own life blood drawn away into the veins of the woman he loves.
Well, that will do.
Already? You took a great deal more from Arthur.
He is her fiancé, friend John. You have much work to do for her. The present will suffice.
How could she have been drained of so much blood with no sign anywhere to show for it?
You go home and eat much and drink too. I shall sit up with the little miss myself tonight.
But, Professor, what is wrong with her?
Do not ask me, not yet. Trust me that I will speak plainly enough when the time comes.
19th of August, morning. Thank God for a good night's sleep. Good morning, Professor. Hello, Lucy.
Hello, Jack.
Good morning indeed, my friend. You see, young miss has improved.
Yes, that's excellent.
What do you have there? A present?
Professor, I saw this parcel on the door for you as I came in.
Yes, good. Now, these are for you, Miss Lucy.
Flowers? For me? Oh, how sweet of you.
Yes, my dear, but these are not for you to play with. These are medicines.
Am I to eat them?
Oh, no, young miss. I put them in your window, around the door, and I make a pretty wreath and hang him round your neck so you sleep well.
Professor, I believe you're playing a joke on me. These flowers are only common garlic.
I never jest. There is grim purpose in all I do. I warn you, do not thwart me.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to joke.
Oh, dear little miss, do not fear me. I only do for your good. There is much virtue to these common flowers. Now, friend John, help me deck the room with my garlic.
We set about placing the garlic flowers about the door and windows. Professor, I know you always have reason for what you do, but this, a skeptic might say you were working a spell to ward off evil spirits.
Perhaps I am. Now, Lucy, take care you do not disturb this. And even if the room feels too close, do not open the windows tonight or the door.
I promise.
You shall sleep well tonight, my dear. Tonight I too can sleep in peace, and sleep I want. Tomorrow morning early we will come see our pretty miss, so much more strong for my spell, as you say.
We awoke early the next day, hopeful for positive results from the professor's strange medicines. On the way to her room, we encountered Lucy's maid.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hello.
You'll be happy to hear that Miss Lucy is better today. She was still asleep when I looked in on her.
My treatment is working.
I do think I deserve some of the credit.
How do you mean?
Well, I looked in on her last night and she was sleeping very soundly, but the room was awfully stuffy. There were a lot of horrible, strong-smelling flowers everywhere. I feared the odor would be too much for her, so I took them all out and opened up the window a crack so she could get some fresh air. You'll be happy I did, I'm sure.
God, are all the powers of all the devils against us? Devils or no devils, or all the devils at once, we will fight him all the same. Oh, she is on death's door. We must have another transfusion of blood, or this poor girl's life won't be worth an hour's purchase. No. You are too tired already. An old man's blood is not best, but it will have to do.
Maybe I can help.
Quincy, what are you doing here?
Well, I got a telegram from Art. He hasn't heard from you in 3 days, so he told me to come on and check on things. Looks like I came at a good time.
Quincy, this is Professor VanHelsing.
You only have to tell me what to do.
Your brave blood is the best thing in the world for Miss Lucy now. The devil may work against us for all he's worth, but God sends us good men when we need them.
Quincy rolled up his sleeve, and again the operation took place.
1, 2, 3, all opens their veins for her. If Miss Lucy be sad in the foes that beset her, she is happy in the friends that love her. Friend John, please see to Mr. Morris. I would have words with that maid.
What's wrong with her, Jack? I know you medical men like to keep things private, but this is no ordinary case, is it?
No, it isn't.
I take it you have already done what I did today?
I have.
And I guess Art was in on it too?
Yes, he was the first.
How long's this been going on?
About 10 days.
10 days? You mean that little creature has taken the blood of 3 men all within 10 days? Well, man alive, her whole body couldn't hold that much. What took it out?
That is the crux. VanHelsing is simply frantic about it, and I am at my wit's end. One thing is certain. I will not leave her side again.
Count me in. Just tell me what to do, and I'll do it.
Professor, how is she?
Friend John, you must send for her fiancé at once.
We watched her all night in shifts, VanHelsing and I. Quincey said nothing about his intentions, but I know he spent the entire night patrolling round and round the house. Arthur arrived the next morning.
I came as soon as I could. Where is she?
She is resting. We have tried to make her comfortable.
How long?
We do not know. Hours, perhaps less.
I want to see her.
Of course.
Oh, God.
Arthur?
Yes, Lucy. I am here.
Please don't leave. Please don't leave.
Never.
VanHelsing suddenly notices something about Lucy.
Close the curtain. I was late.
Seward draws the curtain. VanHelsing takes a sharp intake of breath.
My God. Look at her throat.
The punctures are gone. Completely healed.
She's dying.
No.
Summon all your fortitude, my friend. It will be best for her.
Arthur? Arthur, are you here?
Yes, Lucy.
Don't leave. Please don't leave.
Arthur moved in for a kiss, but VanHelsing stopped him.
No, not yet. Hold her hand. That will comfort her more.
Oh, Arthur. I'm so glad you've come. Kiss me.
Arthur again tried to lean in for a kiss. VanHelsing grabbed him by the arm and pulled him violently away from Lucy.
Are you out of your mind?
My true friend, promise you will give me peace.
I swear it. Come, my child, take her hand in yours and kiss her once on the forehead, but only once.
Arthur kissed Lucy on the forehead as instructed. Lucy's breathing became suddenly strenuous, then stopped.
She is dead.
Poor girl. There is peace for her at last. It is the end.
No. Alas, it is not so. It is only the beginning.
This old-time radio program was originally aired live, long before the advent of high fidelity. As a result, you may detect an occasional surface noise or volume drop due to transmission problems so common to old radio. We hope, however, that any variance in audio quality will not take away from your pleasure in listening to this, one of the all-time favorite shows.
Waiter! Waiter! Phil, did you ever see such poor service? I'm going to call the manager. Take it easy, Walt. What's mostly wrong is your grouse. I'm sorry, Phil, but my digestion is so upset. What you may need for your poor digestion is something that works after nature's own order. Try Carter's Little Liver Pill. Good advice. When your digestion is upset and you feel headachy and irritable, take Carter's Little Liver Pills. You see, each day nature normally produces about 2 pints of a vital digestive juice to help digest your food. If nature fails, your food may remain undigested, leaving you headachy and irritable. To feel cheerful and happy again, take Carter's Little Liver Pills. They increase the flow of this vital digestive juice quickly, often in as little as 30 minutes, and you're on the road to feeling better. Don't depend on artificial aids to counteract indigestion when Carter's Little Liver Pills aid digestion after nature's own order. Take Carter's Little Liver Pills as directed. Get them at any drugstore, only 25 cents. Is the sweetheart you married the husband you expected him to be? Has the war created new problems for you in your marriage? To answer these and other personal problems brought in by your friends and neighbors, ARTS presents John J. Anthony, founder of the famed Marital Relations Institute, in a brand new program of daily sessions of kindly and helpful advice. Just as Mr. Anthony, by examples in this studio, is helping thousands of men and women solve their personal problems, ARTS, too, is helping thousands to solve the important personal problem of underarm perspiration. ARTS helps you avoid perspiration damage to clothes and safeguards friendships. Use ARTS every day. It helps stop perspiration safely, and at the same time, ARTS is a most effective deodorant.
Every one of you undoubtedly have a headache or pain remedy that you swear by. But haven't you noticed that on some occasions it fails you? That there are times it does not seem to work? On these occasions, let me suggest that you try Anacin, for here is a remedy that I'm sure won't fail you. You'll find the fastest and most complete relief in Anacin you've ever experienced. The reason is simple. Anacin contains not one pain-soothing agent alone, but 4, one of which is in all probability the remedy you now customarily take to relieve pain. You can get Anacin at your druggist for a few cents. Your money back if you're not pleased. I'll spell the name. Anacin.
And now, before the overture to the second act of the Gibson family, let's step backstage and look in on Sally Gibson and Hilda, her maid, who is helping Sally change for the next scene.
Quick, Hilda, hold this dress. I've never been so excited in all my life.
It's really wonderful, isn't it, Miss Sally?
Too wonderful. That scene in the garden.
It made me think of Henry, Miss Sally. Miss Sally, if I had your complexion, do you suppose Henry would...
What, Hilda?
Help me, what's wrong with my face, Miss Sally? Those red blotches just won't go away.
Soap, probably. What kind are you using? Some beauty soap, I suppose.
Yes, Miss Sally. That one that promises radiant beauty, glamorous youth, irresistible loveliness. Oh, Miss Sally, I had hoped Henry would...
Yes, so did I once. And then I learned the truth. Hilda, you can't feed the pores of your skin with beauty oils or mysterious ingredients.
No.
And many highly perfumed, prettily colored soaps contain fatty acids and free alkali that really irritate and harm your skin.
But, Miss Sally...
My doctor recommended Ivory. He says all any soap can do is cleanse, and that to protect the fine texture and pores, a soap should cleanse gently. And that to do that, a soap must be pure. He said Ivory would help to keep my skin smooth and fine.
And, Miss Sally, do you think Henry would...
Oh, quick, my gloves, Hilda. Is the bell for the second act?
No, Hilda will never get a Grecian nose by using a beauty soap. But we do hope she gets Henry. And now for the overture to our second act. All right, John.
Westminster Gazette, 29th of August. Hampstead Horror. During the past 3 days, several cases have occurred of young children straying from their homes in the middle of the night. Each child, when questioned, reported being with a beautiful lady dressed all in white. Each child was found slightly torn or wounded in the throat.
What do you think?
Those are the same wounds we saw on Lucy.
And what do you make of that?
Common cause. Whatever it was that injured her has injured them.
That is true indirectly, but not directly.
What do you mean, Professor? Be direct with me. I cannot hazard a guess, and frankly, I'm growing tired of all this mystery.
You mean to tell me, friend John, that you have no suspicion as to what Miss Lucy died of?
She died of nervous prostration following a great loss or waste of blood.
Ah, and how was the blood lost or wasted?
I do not know.
You are a clever man, John, but your wit is prejudiced. You do not let your eyes see nor your ears hear that which you cannot account for.
Professor, what are you trying to suggest?
You know all the mysteries in life. Can you tell me why, in the pampas, there are certain bats that come at night and open the veins of horses and cattle and suck dry those veins? Why, in some islands of the western seas, there are bats which hang from the trees all day, and when sailors sleep on the deck because it is hot, the bats swoop down on them, and in the morning are found dead men, pale as poor Miss Lucy was.
Are you telling me Lucy was attacked by a bat?
Not exactly.
Then what?
You think those small holes in the children's throats were made by the same that made those in poor Lucy?
I suppose so.
Then you are wrong. I would it were not so. But alas, it is far worse.
Professor, out with it. What do you mean?
They were made by Miss Lucy herself.
Are you mad?
Would I were. Friend, I do not expect you to believe, not yet. Tonight I go to prove it. Dare you come with me?
Where?
The logic is simple. If my theory is not true, then proof will be a relief and no harm will come. But if I am right, send for Mr. Holmwood and Mr. Morris, tell them to meet us here tonight at midnight, then you will see.
Mina Harker's journal, 29th of August, London. It was such a relief to be back home, but today Jonathan suffered a setback. Walking the streets today, he saw someone who frightened him to his very soul.
It was him. Upon my life, it was him.
Who?
The Count. It was the man himself, but upon my life, he has grown young.
Please, slow down. You aren't making sense.
I am not raving, Mina. This is not madness. I know that face. I will know it as long as I live. Do you still have my diary?
Of course.
I think it's time to read it.
Madam Mina? Mina Harker?
Yes.
You must then be Jonathan.
Yes. Do we know you?
No. My name is Abraham VanHelsing.
VanHelsing. You are Lucy's doctor. She wrote me very fondly about you. How is she?
Madam Mina, you must forgive me that I, a stranger, bring you this news.
Is she still sick?
Miss Lucy is dead.
What?
I am so sorry, madam.
She was getting married. I was going to see her tonight.
Oh, Mina, I am so sorry. How did she die?
That, in part, is why I'm here, my friend. Her illness was very strange. There are many unanswered questions. Madam Mina, I believe you can help me.
How?
When you were staying with her, Miss Lucy began to walk in her sleep, yes?
If I had known I would never see her again, I would have... She's really gone.
This would be difficult for you, but I wonder if you could tell me all you remember about your time with her. When she first became ill, it may save many lives.
My diary. I kept a diary of my time with her. Read it if you like.
You would give me your diary.
If Lucy put her trust in you, then so will I.
I have brought much sorrow to your home. For that, I hope you will forgive me.
Of course. Professor, I wonder if you would help me.
Anything I can do, gladly.
Something happened to me today. It is difficult to explain, but I wonder if you would read this. This diary contains the account of my recent trip to Transylvania. Whatever happened there gave me a terrible mental shock. Up until today, I thought this diary contained the ravings of a madman, but I saw him today. I know it was him. I can't explain it, but I feel this is all somehow connected. You may think me strange.
Mr. Harker, I have dedicated my life to the study of the strange. I will do my utmost to help you.
Here you are, Professor. I hope it will do some good.
Thank you both. It may be that I will need your help in the coming days. If I send for you, will you come?
Yes, for Lucy's sake.
Without hesitation.
Diary of John Seward, 30th of August, night. VanHelsing has called us all together. I can't believe I'm going along with this.
I take it, my friends, that you were surprised to hear from me again.
I'm about up a tree as to what you could want.
Well said.
Put simply, I want your permission to do what I think is best this night.
Well, I always took you for an honest man. That's good enough for me.
Before I agree to anything, I need to know what you propose to do.
I want you to come with me in secret to the churchyard in Kingston.
Where Lucy is buried?
Yes.
And then?
To enter her tomb.
Professor, are you in earnest? Or is this some monstrous joke? And once inside?
To open her coffin.
This is too much.
Arthur, please. VanHelsing has been my friend and mentor for years. He's never given me a reason not to trust him.
I am willing to be patient in all things that are reasonable, but this desecration of her grave, to see her...
Lucy is dead, is it not so? So there can be no harm done to her. But if she be not dead...
What do you mean?
Has she been buried alive?
No, she is not alive. I will go no further than to say she is undead.
Undead, not alive. What is all this?
Please, Mr. Holmwood, let me finish.
It isn't enough you want to sneak into her tomb and open her coffin. What else could you possibly want?
I wish to cut off Miss Lucy's head and drive a stake through her heart.
Professor, you try me too far. Not for the wide world will I consent to any mutilation of her dead body.
I'm gonna have to go along with Art on this one.
Professor, I've been willing to go along with you so far, but had I known this was your plan...
Gentlemen, please.
I have a duty to protect her grave from any outrage, and by God, I shall do it.
I too have a duty to do, a duty to others, a duty to you, a duty to the dead, and by God, I shall do it.
Not for the world. Don't dare think more of such a desecration.
All I ask you now is that you come with me, that you look and you listen. And when later I make the same request, perhaps your mind will change.
There were no more words as VanHelsing led us to the churchyard and into the tomb we had so recently closed.
You will all bear witness that when the lid was sealed, Miss Lucy's body was inside this coffin.
Yes.
Of course she was. Where else would she...
Please, Mr. Holmwood, watch.
VanHelsing proceeds to remove the coffin lid. The coffin is empty.
Professor, is this your doing?
I swear by everything you hold dear, I have not moved nor touched her.
Where is she?
Wait with me outside, and you shall see. Come!
I am in no mood for games. Where is she?
If I told you, you would not believe me. You must see yourself. Now, we must all hide. Find a place.
Professor, this is ridiculous.
Hush! There.
What is it?
Lucy?
It can't be.
In a flash, VanHelsing leapt from his hiding place with his lantern held high, illuminating its face. I say its because while the thing had Lucy's features, it was not her. The eyes were blazing, and teeth were large and sharp, the mouth stained with blood.
Arthur, you've finally come.
Lucy.
Leave these others and come to me.
Lucy, you're alive.
No, darling. So much more. We can be together again. My arms are hungry for you. Come and we can rest together forever.
Back! In the name of God!
VanHelsing pulled his crucifix from his coat. The thing that had once been Lucy hissed and snarled, fleeing back into her coffin.
You believe me now? Am I to proceed with my work?
Yes. Do what you will.
Come, my friends. The sun is almost upon us. She is trapped.
Is this really Lucy's body, or some demon in her shape?
It is her body, but it is not her. She is undead, Nosferatu, a vampire. The undead cannot die, but must go on age after age, adding new victims and multiplying the evils in the world. For all that die by the undead become themselves undead and prey on others. When this undead be made to rest as true dead, then the soul of the poor lady we love shall again be free. So, my friends, it will be a blessed hand that strikes the blow that will set her free. I am willing, but is there one among us who has a better right?
Tell me what to do, and I shall not falter.
Brave lad. A moment's courage and it is done. This stake must be driven through her heart. Take the stake in your left hand, the hammer in your right, and when I begin the prayer for the dead, in God's name strike. In nomine Patrum Sancti.
Diary of Jonathan Harker, 30th of August. I never thought I would keep a diary again. Professor VanHelsing has sent us his call to action. He summoned us to the home of a Dr. Jack Seward.
Hello, Professor. I hope my diary was helpful.
Madam Mina, it has been a sunshine to me. There are darknesses in this world and there are lights. You are one of the lights.
You are too kind, Professor.
Mr. Harker, I have read your diary too and am confident to say that you need not wonder any longer. Everything you wrote is absolute truth.
All true. You don't know what that means to me, Professor. You don't know what it is to doubt everything, even yourself, even your own senses.
But if it is all true, then Dracula is in London.
Precisely, madam. Had I known the fact at first what I know now, one so precious life may have been saved.
Lucy? Was Dracula responsible for what happened to her?
Yes.
Poor Lucy.
What is your plan?
That, my friends, is why you are here. Jack Seward, Arthur Holmwood, Quincey Morris. Meet Jonathan and Mina Harker.
I am happy to finally meet you, Mina. Lucy talked about you so often, I feel as though we have already met.
I know what she was to you and what you were to her. She and I were like sisters, and now she is gone. Will you not let me be like a sister to you in your trouble? If sympathy and pity can help in your affliction, won't you let me be of some little service, for Lucy's sake?
I am not sure how to thank you. Though I am not ungrateful now, my gratitude will grow with my understanding. You will let me be like a brother, will you not, for all our lives?
No one but a woman can help a man when he has the trouble of the heart.
I wish I could comfort all who suffer from the heart. Will you all let me be your friend, and will you come to me for comfort if you need it?
Little girl, you will never regret that true-hearted kindness so long as you live.
If a man's esteem and gratitude are ever worth the winning, you have won mine today. If you ever need a man's help, he will not call in vain.
The light of all lights. Now, to our purpose. I take it you have all read their diaries as I suggested.
They have all read my diary?
Forgive me, madam, but time is short, and it is imperative that we all know the facts of the case.
They've read mine too, if it makes you feel any better.
My friends, there are such things as vampires. This vampire which is among us, this Count Dracula, is himself as strong as 20 men. He has the cunning of ages. He can appear at will. He can direct the fog, the storm, the thunder. He can command all the meaner things, the rat, the owl, the bat, and the wolf. How then shall we find him? And having found him, how shall we destroy? It is a terrible task, my friends, for to fail is not mere life and death. If we fail, we will become as him. What say you?
We are with you.
Count me in, Professor.
I am with you, for Lucy's sake.
Of course.
Good. Now, the vampire, he can do all these things, yet he is not free, nor are we without strength. The vampire can only flourish when that he can fatten on the blood of the living. Without blood, he will die.
That doesn't help us much. He has no shortage of blood here in London.
Yet he is not free. He may not enter any house unless someone of the household invite him, though afterwards he may come as he pleases. His power ceases with the coming of the day. If he is not in his coffin home when the sun rises, he must remain in whatever form he finds himself until the sun sets.
He can move about by day. I had always heard in the old stories that sunlight was fatal to vampires.
That is a common myth. He can move about by day, but it is not his natural time.
How do we hurt him? We've heard about what he can and can't do, but what about us? What power do we have?
Much, my friend. There are indeed things that will hurt him. Garlic, the host, holy water, the crucifix. If we obey what we know, when we find this man that was, we may confine him in his coffin and drive a stake through his heart.
Easier said than done. How are we going to find one man in the middle of London?
I can help with that. 50 boxes of earth were delivered to Dracula's estate at Carfax.
How do you know that?
I bought the house for him, remember?
Carfax? What? Next door? He's been right next door this whole time.
Yes.
If only we knew.
We know that at least some of the boxes have been removed, though we don't know how many or where.
Our first step must be to ascertain how many of the earth boxes remain at the house next door and how many have been removed.
Then what are we waiting for? I say we go take a look at that house right now.
Quite right, my brave friend.
Seward!
What in the hell?
Seward, where are you? I must speak to you.
It's Renfield. He's escaped from his room again. I'll call the guard.
No, wait. I should very much like to hear what Mr. Renfield has to say.
Dr. Seward! Oh, pardon me. I did not know you had company.
Do not be alarmed, Mr. Renfield. No one here will harm you. I am Professor VanHelsing.
I know who you are. Professor Abraham VanHelsing, I have read your books. This is indeed an honor.
Enough of the niceties, Renfield. How did you get out of your cell?
Excuse me, Doctor, may I? Good evening, Mr. Renfield.
You are not the girl the doctor wanted to marry, are you? No, you can't be, for she's dead.
Renfield!
It's all right. I have a husband of my own. This is Jonathan. I am Mina Harker.
Mina? How do you know me?
Dr. Seward has told me of you.
Has he? You aren't seeing me at my best, I'm afraid.
You need not be ashamed. It is a brave man who is willing to accept the help of others.
Wait, how did you know I wanted to marry someone?
Miss Harker, you must not stay.
Why not?
I am not a sane man, Mrs. Harker. I know that. My friends were right to insist I be put under control. But I have moments of lucidity, and this is one of them. You must not stay here.
Why not, Mr. Renfield? What do you know?
Too much to live.
You're wrong. Trust me, Mr. Renfield, there are people in this room with the knowledge and the power to help you.
You must all excuse me, but I have a matter I wish to discuss with Dr. Seward and the professor in private.
But
I would very much like to hear what you have to say. We will be but a moment, gentlemen. Prepare for our search of Carfax, and we will join you presently. Oh, no, Madam Mina, I am afraid that for you the evening is over.
I beg your pardon?
We must not walk you into danger. We will tell you all in good time, but for tonight we must know that you are safe.
Professor, I have no intention of watching you all walk into danger and not be there with you. I've not been a hindrance thus far, have I?
Of course not, madam.
Mina, please. I didn't like what Renfield was saying to you. I will feel so much better knowing you're safe.
Jonathan, I have just as much right as anyone here.
Mina, please.
For your sake, then, Jonathan, this time. Goodbye, Mr. Renfield. I hope I may see you again under better circumstances.
I pray God I may never see your sweet face again.
All right, Renfield. What's this all about?
You have to send me away from here, Seward. Send me far away.
Send you away?
I desire to go at once, now, this very hour, this very moment, if I may.
I'm afraid not, Renfield.
I implore you, not for my own sake, but for the sake of others.
Can you not tell frankly your real reason to be free tonight?
That I cannot do. I am not my own master in this matter. I only ask you to trust me.
You know full well we can never agree to this.
Let me implore you, let me entreat you to let me out of this house at once. Send me away how you will, where you will. You don't know what you do by keeping me here. You don't know whom you wrong. Don't you understand? I am not a lunatic in a mad fit, but a sane man fighting for his soul.
Come, no more of this. We've had quite enough. Try to behave more discreetly. We will take you back to your cell, and mind that you do not leave it again.
You will, I trust, Dr. Seward, do me the justice to bear in mind later on that I did what I could to convince you.
Mina enters her bedroom while VanHelsing, Seward, Jonathan, Arthur, and Quincey approach Carfax Abbey.
My friends, we walk into terrible danger. Remember that our enemy cannot be harmed as we can be harmed. Therefore, we must guard ourselves from his touch. Keep these crosses near your heart.
He produces crucifixes, which he passes around.
Friend John, the door. In manus tuas, Domine.
Oh, that smell.
It's like death.
Oh, that's the Count, all right.
It's unbearable.
Try living with him for a month.
Come on, gents. Smell or no smell, let's get it over with.
I feel like we are being watched. Everyone stay sharp.
We must see how many of his boxes are left. Every room must be searched.
Thought I saw a face.
So did I. Nothing there.
Mina Harker's journal. The men have gone hunting. I hate being left in the dark like this. I have just as much right as anyone else to hunt down this creature that destroyed my friend. Strange. This sudden the air feels so close. My eyes are so heavy.
Mina.
Hello? Jonathan, is that you?
Mina, come to me.
Diary of Jonathan Harker. We searched Carfax from top to bottom.
29 is the final number.
Only 29 out of 50.
Yes, and we searched every room twice.
21 missing.
What do we do about these? Burn them?
No need for that. Place a crucifix in each coffin, and he can no longer come near them.
That won't do any good if we can't find the others.
Leave that to me.
Rest assured, friends, the first victory is ours.
Diary of John Seward, 1st of September. Jonathan has been following leads all day, trying to track down the remaining boxes. Right now, he is our best hope.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, Mina. You're looking cheerful this evening.
Why, thank you. I feel wonderful. I had such a restful sleep last night. Where's Jonathan?
He's out.
I can see that. Where is he?
He's following up some leads with a few.
Seward?
I see. Some Dracula business. He told you not to tell me, didn't he?
I'm sorry, madam, but he is only trying to keep you safe.
Yes, of course. Keep me safe. After all, I'm only a silly woman, aren't I? I'd be much safer in the kitchen, I suppose.
Mina.
Oh, never mind. Tell Jonathan I went to bed.
She didn't seem quite herself, did she?
No, she did not.
Good evening, gentlemen. Where is Mina?
She said to tell you she was going to bed.
She is upset, isn't she?
She wants to help.
I know, but she doesn't know what she is asking. I do. I've been face to face with this monster. I don't want her anywhere near that nightmare.
It is for the best, my friend. Maybe later, after all is done, we will tell her of these days. But for now, she is safer in the dark.
What were you able to find?
A promising lead. As clever and as careful as he is, the Count's purchases still leave a trail. He bought a house 3 weeks ago at 347 Piccadilly.
This has been a great day's work, friend Jonathan.
Well, let's not count our chickens until we know all 21 boxes are accounted for. You could have dozens of houses all over the city.
At least we have a place to start. Though, I don't know how we can expect to break into a house in the middle of the day in Piccadilly and not be caught.
Oh, you'd be surprised how far a well-placed bribe will get you these days.
Thank God for rich friends.
Well, if you will excuse me, gentlemen, I think I will join Mina. It has been a long day.
Of course, my friend. Sleep well and know you have done much good today.
Professor, there's something I've been wondering. Who is this Dracula, really? I mean, he must have been human once.
Indeed he was. In life, he was a most remarkable man. If I am correct in my assumptions, this Dracula was a Transylvanian prince some 500 years ago.
500 years?
Yes, he was a vicious warrior known by his enemies as Vlad Tepes, the Impaler, a name he earned by impaling his enemies on pikes.
Charming.
It was even rumored that he would take his meals amongst his dying enemies and drink their blood.
Well, it would appear his taste hasn't changed in 500 years. What in the hell was that?
It sounded like Renfield. We rushed to Renfield's room and found the man lying on the floor, bloody and broken.
My God, is he alive?
Just barely.
What could have happened to him?
I hope he will be able to tell us. His words may be worth many lives.
Renfield? Renfield, can you hear me?
Who? Dr. Seward?
Yes, Renfield, it's me.
I have had a terrible dream. Why am I on the floor?
Don't try to move.
Tell us of your dream, Renfield.
I must not deceive myself. It was no dream.
What happened?
I'm dying, aren't I? I have but a few minutes. I have something I need to say. Last night after you left me, after I implored you to let me go away, he came to me.
Go on.
He came to my window in the mist. I didn't ask him to come in at first, though I knew he wanted me to. Then he began promising me things. Not in words, but by doing them.
Doing them?
By making them happen. A dark mist spread over the lawn, coming on like a flame of fire. Then he parted it, and I could see that there were thousands of rats with their eyes blazing red, like his, only smaller. I thought he seemed to be saying, "Rats, rats, rats, thousands, millions of them, all red blood. All these I will give to you if you obey me."
What did he want you to do?
Before I knew what I was doing, I found I was opening the sash and inviting him in.
Renfield! Renfield!
All day I waited to hear from him, but he did not send me anything, not even a fly. Tonight he came through the window, even though it was shut, without knocking, like he owned the place. He doesn't care for me, he only cares for her. He is favouring her and leaving me with nothing. So when he came in tonight, I was ready for him. I have heard that madmen have great strength, and when he came in, I grabbed him and held as hard as I could. Then I saw his eyes, and my strength became like water. He picked me up and slammed me down as if I was a door. Then he slipped under the door.
He is here. Arm yourselves. There is not a moment to lose.
Jonathan? Jonathan, wake up! Jonathan?
If you make a sound, I will snap his neck before your eyes. So, you, like the others, would play your brain against mine. I, who commanded nations hundreds of years before you were born. You would help these men to hunt me and frustrate my designs. You know now what it is to cross my path, as they will know too before long. Whilst they played wits against me, I was countermining them. Now you, their most beloved one, are flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. You will come at my call. When I will it, you will cross land or sea to do my bidding. To that end,
Dracula opens his shirt and with one of his sharp nails draws a vein open in his chest, then forces Mina's mouth to the blood. Suddenly the door bursts open as Quincey and Arthur break it in.
Mina!
Dracula has both Mina's hands in one of his and is grabbing her throat with the other. When the men enter, Dracula snarls viciously at them. And Quincey rushes forward to attack. Dracula throws Mina down on the bed with incredible force and holds out one hand toward Quincey, the force of which flings him across the room. He moves to leap at the men, but at that instant, VanHelsing holds out his crucifix.
It's back!
Dracula stops short. The others follow suit and push Dracula into the corner. Suddenly, the lights go out in a great gust of wind, as if a dark cloud has covered the moonlight. The light returns quickly, and when it does, Dracula is gone.
It is all right, Madam Mina. It is over.
Quincey, are you all right?
Don't worry about me. He might still be in the house. Come on.
Jonathan, can you hear me?
Seward, what happened? What happened to Mina? Was he here?
Yes, but we drove him off.
Where?
No, stay with me. Don't leave me.
Do not fear, my dear. We are here. And while you are close, we are close to you. No foul thing can approach.
Mina.
No, Jonathan, I must never touch or kiss you again.
What are you talking about?
It's too dangerous. You mustn't come near me.
I am not afraid. Nothing will come between us, not even this.
There is no sign of him anywhere. We looked into Renfield's room, but...
But what?
He's dead.
Poor man.
Friends, we have made a great mistake. We sought to protect Mina by keeping her in the dark. We were wrong to do this. From now on, nothing must be kept from her.
No more secrets.
The situation is bad. The vampire has baptized Madame Mina in his own blood. Now, in life, she will become the foul thing of the night that he is.
You mean I will change whether I live or die?
Yes. It is more important than ever to find him and destroy him. Only then will you be free.
Oh God, this is his way of punishing us.
Exactly. But do not despair. Today is ours. We have all this day to seek out his lairs and sterilize them.
Then what are we waiting for?
Are we all armed?
Yes.
You bet.
Good. Place your weapons on the table.
What for?
Against the enemy we face. They are useless.
I don't know about that. This seems like it could do some damage.
A kukri. I've read about these. Good God, it's practically a sword.
Cute. This hair's a Bowie knife.
Oh, show off.
If we have finished measuring weapons, lay them on the table. In nomine Patri, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Now, they will protect you.
I always wanted a magic knife.
Madam Mina, you are quite safe here until sunrise, and before then we shall return. But before we go, let me see you armed against personal attack. Let me hold this cross to your forehead. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
The cross, it burned her.
Mina, Professor, what is this?
It's happening already. I'm changing.
I won't let that happen.
But what can we do against a power like his?
We won't quit, Mina. I'll die before I see you in his hands.
That goes for all of us.
You see? He has all the powers of darkness, but we have something much stronger. Do not give up hope.
Thank you. All of you.
Come, gentlemen, we must waste no time.
To one thing I have made up my mind. If we find out that Mina must be a vampire in the end, she shall not go into that unknown and terrible land alone. We boarded the train for his house in Piccadilly and searched it from top to bottom.
20.
Only 20? Are you sure?
We searched every room twice, only 20.
Damn.
One box missing.
What do we do now?
Now, we wait.
What about the missing box?
The Count is sure to come here before sundown. If we do our work, then we will have no need for the missing box.
And if he escapes?
We need a plan of attack.
Quite right. Quincy, you should...
Quiet! Shh. Be ready.
Footsteps approach the door and stop. For a moment, everything is quiet. Suddenly, the door bursts open and Dracula is in the room. VanHelsing and Seward rush in front of the door with crucifixes raised, blocking Dracula's exit. Jonathan leaps at Dracula with his knife. Dracula is too quick, just managing to evade Jonathan's swipe. Dracula grabs Jonathan by the neck. Quincey and Arthur advance, crucifixes raised. Dracula recoils from their approach and in response throws Jonathan into Quincey, knocking them both to the floor and leaving the window unguarded.
You think you baffle me? You with your pale faces, all in a row like sheep in the butchers. You shall be sorry, yet. You think you have left me without a place to rest, but I have more. My revenge on you has just begun. I spread it over centuries. Time is on my side. The one you love is mine already. She is with me, always, over land and sea. Through her you shall all be mine.
Dracula jumps out of the window. In a flash, Jonathan follows Dracula out the window. Quincey and Arthur rush out the main door.
We'll try to hit him off.
Good. We have learned something much. For all his brave words, he fears us. He fears time. For if not, why does he hurry so? Mark me, he fears us.
No sign. We lost him.
The sun will set soon. We must get back to Mina. Sterilize these boxes, then all we can do just now is done. We need not despair. There is but one more earth box, and we shall find it as I live.
Mina Harker's journal. The men all returned, breathless and pale. What happened? Did you see him?
Yes, he got away from us.
All but one of the earth boxes has been accounted for and sterilized.
All but one?
I was so close, Mina. I let him get away. Damn him!
Jonathan, I want you to bear something in mind. All of you. I know you must fight, that you must destroy him, but it is not a work of hate. The poor soul who has wrought all this misery is the saddest case of all. Just think what will be his joy when his soul is freed. You must be pitiful to him, too.
May God give him into my hand long enough to end his earthly life. If beyond that I could send his soul forever into burning hell, I would.
No, Jonathan, please don't say that. Just think, perhaps someday I too may need such pity, and that some other like you, with equal cause of anger, may deny it me.
Mina, I didn't... I'm sorry.
We can do no more today at any rate. The sun is setting as we speak.
Professor, I need you to do something for me.
Anything?
Hypnotize me.
What?
Hypnotize me now, before the sun completely sets.
Clever woman.
What good will that do?
Remember, Dracula said that Mina was already his, that she is with him always.
Of course.
Lay back, please. Take deep breaths.
I don't follow, Professor.
Quiet, please. Do not disturb me.
Seward, what is going on?
It would seem that Dracula holds some mental connection with his victims. Now, normally that connection only goes one way, from Dracula to his victim. But under hypnosis, perhaps we can make that connection work in the opposite direction, and then...
She can tell us where he is.
Exactly.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Are you with him?
Yes.
Where are you?
I don't know. It is all strange to me.
What do you see?
I see nothing. It is all dark.
What do you hear?
Lapping water. I can hear it outside.
You are on a ship?
Yes.
What else can you hear?
Men stamping overhead. Clatter of chains.
What are you doing?
I am still. So still. It is like death.
Mina! Mina! Can you hear me?
Professor? Did it work?
Yes. You may have saved us.
What did I say?
He is on a ship. We know not what is in his mind. He thinks to escape, but no. We follow him even to the jaws of hell.
He wants to return to Transylvania. Knowing that he travels by ship, I am sure he would seek a route through the Black Sea. If I were him, I would sail into Galatz. It is the most direct route.
He hates the water.
What? You said something just now.
Did I? I'm sorry, my mind was elsewhere.
If we leave today, by train we can arrive in Galatz in 3 days.
We will set forth immediately.
Jonathan, wait. There's something I need to say, and I fear I don't have much time.
Time for what?
It'll be night soon. He won't let me speak freely at night.
What do you need to say?
You must promise me that, should the time come, you will kill me.
What?
Promise that you will do for me what they did for Lucy.
No. No, I can't promise this. I won't.
You must.
Why are you saying this?
Jonathan, you know me better than anyone. You know I would not ask this lightly. What happened to Lucy was a sacrilege. My sweet, loving friend turned into a monster. You cannot let that happen to me.
Mina, I understand. I do. But it will never come to that. We are going to kill him. That will be the end of it.
We don't know that. I know how hard this is, but I need to know you will not let me suffer.
I promise.
7th of September. Aboard the train bound for Galatz. We laid out our plan of attack.
Once his ship lands, there are any number of ways to get to the castle. Trains, river passages, and mountain roads all offer access.
So we pick the fastest route and get to the castle before he does.
But which is the fastest route? Road, rail, or water?
Perhaps I can help. We can rule out the road, as there he would run the greatest risk of capture, either by us or by other officials. We can also rule out by rail, since here he would be at the mercy of train delays, which are very common in this part of the world. That leaves water, which is his safest and fastest route. I've studied the maps and have found that the Sereth River would take him right to the Borgo Pass, as close a route to Dracula's castle as can be reached by water.
Mina is once more a teacher. Her eyes have seen, they are blinded.
On horseback, we can reach the castle before he does.
I will buy us some horses.
We must assume that he is using the Slovaks as his servants. They are strong and carry heavy arms.
I brought along some Winchesters. They're pretty handy in a crowd.
What about Mina?
She will come with us right into the heart of the enemy's country.
I know we vowed not to keep anything from her, but to bring her right into the jaws of his death trap? Not for the whole world.
Mr. Harker.
I don't want her anywhere near that place.
Poor friend, in order to save Madam Mina from that awful place, she must come with us.
How does bringing her there keep her safe?
Think, Mr. Harker. She is under his spell. When he wills it, she must cross land or sea to do his bidding. To resist his call would kill her.
He's right, Jonathan. I can feel his power over me growing. I can't resist him. I'm not strong enough.
Yes, you are. I know you are.
No, Jonathan, I'm not. I hear him in my head all the time now. I'm not even in control of my own mind.
Mina, I am sorry I brought this upon us. If I hadn't gone to Transylvania,
No, none of this is your fault. We have all been set on this path, and we must see it through together.
Diary of John Seward, 24th of September. 3 days on the road, arrived at the Borgo Pass just after sunrise yesterday morning.
We will make camp here for tonight.
The air feels so heavy all of a sudden.
Yes, and the birds have stopped singing.
It's the castle. We've entered its shadow.
It knows we're here.
Which is the way?
That way.
How do you know?
Of course I know!
Mina, why don't you try to eat something?
I'm not hungry.
You haven't eaten all day.
You really must eat, Mina. As a doctor,
I said I'm not hungry! Leave me alone and let me rest.
But you've been asleep all day.
VanHelsing produced a wafer from his pocket and began crumbling it, arranging the pieces into a circle around Mina. What are you doing?
You shall see.
What is that?
The host. Now, Madam Mina, will you come over to the fire? Come over to the fire.
I can't.
Are you sure?
Yes, it's like I'm hitting a wall.
Good.
What does this mean?
It means that she is safe. If she cannot pass the circle, then those who we fear cannot enter.
Circles in the dirt. Holy water. Garlic. My God. A month ago, I would have laughed at all this and called us madmen.
Perhaps we are gods, madmen.
What in the hell is that?
Everyone, inside the circle. Quick, quick.
What is it?
It's them.
Sister, at last you've come.
We have been waiting for you.
Stay back.
Oh, look, sister. It's our favorite present.
He left us so soon. We didn't get a chance to play.
Oh, but he came back to us.
Oh, and he brought our sister with him.
She will never be one of you.
She already is.
Stop!
Do not leave the circle. Seward, grab him.
That circle won't protect you for long.
He's almost here.
Come to us, sister. We will welcome him together.
Professor, please.
You are afraid of them?
Yes, make them go away.
God be thanked. If you are afraid, you are not yet one of them. Back! You are not welcome here.
You think you can stop him?
This is his land. This is his home.
You are nothing. You have no power here.
Get back! This is holy ground.
Killing the horses!
Diary of Jonathan Harker, 25th of September. Arrived at the castle late in the afternoon. VanHelsing, Arthur, and Quincey have undertaken a gruesome task.
Are you all right, Mina?
It hurts. I wish he would stop.
We are running out of time.
I'm afraid you're right. Her pulse is very weak and her teeth are growing.
One way or another, it will end today.
The butcher's work is done. Those 3 poor souls are free.
All the entrances to the castle have been fixed with a crucifix.
We have him trapped.
He's coming. He's close.
This is it. Everyone arm yourselves.
He's coming for me.
Professor, get Mina to safety.
He's here.
4 Slovaks enter crowded around a wagon. On the wagon is the earth box.
Move away from that box.
The Slovaks charge. Jonathan fires his revolver, wounding 1. Quincey levels his rifle to fire, but the Slovaks are too fast, getting in too close and engaging hand to hand. Jonathan fights with his long kukri knife, and Quincey pulls out his bowie knife, fighting off the attackers.
Quincey, get to the box!
Quincey throws off another attacker and rushes for the box, which is bound shut by leather straps. Quincey starts to cut the straps, but is surprised from behind by a Slovak who stabs him in the back.
Yeah!
Quincy reels back and gets the upper hand on his attacker, killing him.
Quincy!
Jonathan throws off his attacker and jumps on the box. Suddenly, the Slovaks stop fighting and look toward the setting sun.
Harker, hurry! It's the sun!
The Slovaks all exit, staring in horror from the box to the setting sun. Jonathan cuts the final strap as the sun sets completely.
You are too late!
The box bursts open, and quick as a flash, Dracula has Jonathan by the throat.
You are too late.
Dracula throws Jonathan like a rag doll. The others approach to rush at Dracula with their weapons drawn.
Stay!
What? I can't move.
You dare to think you can defeat me? Now you will watch while I take your precious one for my own. Mina, come to me.
No!
Jonathan jumps up to attack, knife at the ready. Mina jumps in the way, grabbing the knife and pushing Jonathan back with incredible strength.
Mina!
You see, she is mine. She will be mine forever, my bride throughout eternity. Mina, leave these fools and come to me.
Mina starts to slowly walk toward Dracula.
Mina, I know you can hear me. Fight him.
The sun is gone. There is no power in heaven or on earth that can fight me.
Mina, fight him. You are stronger than him.
You will be flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
No! You won't take her too, Mina! Fight!
Come to me!
Don't let him win!
You are mine forever.
Mina! Mina, please!
Mina looks from Dracula to Jonathan, struggling mightily in her own mind. Finally, she moves toward Dracula. Mina raises Jonathan's knife and plunges it into Dracula's heart.
Quincey, your knife!
Quincey throws his knife to Jonathan, who leaps up and in one fluid motion slices Dracula's throat. In an instant, Dracula's body disappears, dissolving into dust.
Mina, are you all right?
His eyes. I felt so lost. I heard your voices, but I couldn't move. Then I heard you.
You came back to us. You beat him and came back to us.
Quincey, you're wounded.
Let me take a look.
How is he?
There's nothing we can do.
Oh no, Quincey.
No, Mina. Don't be sad for me. Well, it hasn't been in vain. Look, that scar on your forehead is gone.
The curse is past.
To give my life so that you might be free. That's more than I deserve.
All the evidence is now before you.
We have added nothing, nor have we omitted anything that would refute the truth of these events.
We cannot force you to believe us. You must decide whether to accept our story as fact or dismiss it as fiction.
There remains but one final entry from the diary of Mina Harker.
I shall be glad as long as I live that in the moment of Dracula's final dissolution, before the fiend's body crumpled into dust, there appeared in the face a look of peace, such as I never could have imagined might have rested there.